ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीं यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततन्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Verse 32 यदृच्छया चोपपन्नं स्वर्गद्वारमपावृतम् सुखिनः क्षत्रियाः पार्थ लभन्ते युद्धमीदृशम्। So now Bhagavan says, we are seeing this verse from verse 31, 32 and 33 from the moral angle. Bhagavan is trying to explain Arjuna about and giving a proper knowledge of dharma, adharma, etc. because his mind is already deluded. So based on that, from the point of view of a moral angle, from moral or from the dharma angle, well, of course, philosophical angle is already over. But now from this angle also, Bhagavan is explaining that why there is no cause of grief and he should fight. So Bhagavan says here that the first meaning is yadruchaya cha upapannam swargadvaram apavrutam sukhinah kshatriyah partha. O partha. So yadruchaya, by chance. By chance, upapannam means has come. What has come? Apavrutam swargadvaram. By chance it has come to you. The opened gateway for the heavens. And idrisham of this kind, yuddham, battle is nothing but the open gates of this heaven for you. And sukhinah kshatriyaha, idrisham yuddham labhante. Sukhinah means a fortunate one, lucky people, kshatriyas. Sukhinah kshatriyaha means this fortunate kshatriyas labhante, get this kind of a war which will lead to a swarga. As the Swarga's gates are open for the person who fights this kind of a dharmiya uddha, etc. Bhagavan is telling here. So here we are, Bhagavan is telling him to look upon this opportunity as a great blessing. So, and we see this kind of a thing, and in a certain countries or in a certain community also, they always talk about this suicide square. A suicide square for wrong reason is a different thing. Well, we are not telling that, but especially one set of people or one particular community, comes forward and they say they always they are ready to sacrifice their life for the sake of country, etc. And same way, Kshatriya also generally is ready to sacrifice his life in such a situation. And so to sacrifice a life is not tragedy for a Kshatriya. And especially you must be knowing the Rajputas, etc. Well, they always they consider as a great opportunity the war, as etc. And when before going to the war, this Rajput prince, they princess, they go to if they are married, they go to their wives and definitely for just they say that we are living, etc. This princesses also, they will never cry. In fact, they encourage that they should, their husbands should go for the war. And so enthusiastically they give permission. So, that kind of a blood, even the princesses also have, because they are also born to the same clan, etc. And therefore, so, for Kshatriya especially, the Rajputas are Kshatriyas only. So, for Kshatriyas, this kind of an opportunity to fight a war, etc., is a very, very great opportunity. That's what Bhagavan is as though reminding to him. So, then therefore you should fight a war. So, Bhagavan is telling, Yadruchaya cha upapannam. It's an opportunity for a great sacrifice of your life has come. Yadruchaya means by chance. You have not called for this war, etc., but then it has come to you by chance. So, you have got it, and not only that, if you are going to sacrifice your life, so you may lose on this earth, but from the Shastric angle, definitely this is an opportunity to go to Swarga. So, according to Dharma Shastra, when a person sacrifices the life for a dharma, he gets the heaven. And Kshatriya, the heaven when Kshatriya gets, that's called Veera Swarga, actually. Veera Swarga. And there is one other way of going to Swarga is like people go to heaven by doing certain rituals and etc. These Kshatriyas go to heaven by not doing rituals, etc., but or by any other thing, but by sacrificing their life especially in a war-like situation, and especially protecting dharma, etc. So they get a Veera Swarga. Like our people, like our armies, they sacrifice their lives. So many Jawans and even colonels and other people, they sacrifice their life for protecting the country. And so definitely they have lost a life here, of course, but they gain a better life. Swarga means a better life, etc., in a next janma, etc. And therefore, it is the same way for Kshatriya. Bhagavan is reminding me in terms of, from the angle of a Dharma Shastra, that Bhagavan says Swarga Dwaram means gateway to the Swarga is open, apavrutam. Avrutam means closed, apavrutam means open. So Dharma Yuddha is a gateway to the heaven. That's what Bhagavan is told. And apakrutam means it's open. So Bhagavan says, Sukhinah Kshatriyaha idrisham yuddham labhante. Who will get this kind of an opportunity? Sukhinah Kshatriyaha, not all Kshatriyas. The only fortunate Kshatriyas, the blessed Kshatriyas only will get an opportunity. Because it may happen, so your person may be a Kshatriya. He has all the skills to fight everything, but such an occasion will not arise at all in his life. Well, then definitely, of course, he lives a life of dharma, possibly. But still, he may not get a Swarga. When he sacrifices his life for the sake of dharma, then only he gets this kind of a Swarga, etc. And therefore, Bhagavan, that is why saying Yadruchaya, by chance, it has come by chance because you may be fortunate one. And therefore, they alone will get this kind of an opportunity. Idrisham yuddham labhante, this kind of a war, they will get. So because it's a call for a noble cause, so Arjuna, do not miss this opportunity. Bhagavan is telling this. Let's go to verse 33. Atha chetvamimam dharmyam sangramam na karishyasi Tata swadharmam kirtincha hitva papamavapsasi. Atha. Atha means on the other hand. Atha has a many meanings. When a topic gets changed, then also they use atha. That's how even in puja you will find in this our Shodashopachar puja, the 16 steps are there. There you will find that one upachara is over, then before the upachara they will say atha padyam, atha achamaniyam, atha naivedyam, etc. etc. So this is how atha means definitely a change of a topic. Atha also means a now. Atha also means on the other hand, etc. etc. So here atha means on the other hand. Chetvam. Whenever chet comes, you have to immediately translate it as a if. So chetvam means if you na karishyasi, if you do not fight, what? Imam dharmyam sangramam, this righteous war, dharmyam I have already told you yesterday. Dharmyam, the meaning of dharmyam is dharmat anapetam, which is not opposed to dharma. Or let's say which is for the dharma. We can say that way. Which is for the dharma, for protecting dharma, which is for reviving dharma, etc. So imam dharmyam sangramam, well, this righteous war, sangramam, that's a very, as such, the sangram, gramam means a village. And some generally is used for total or for good. So this is samyak gramam means gramam is village and samyak means total or good. Then sangramam is a good village. Well, so that's not here. The sangramam here is, well, gramam also means basically, the gramam is a village, but that meaning also is not, that meaning also is not completely okay. Gramam basically means a group. Gramam is equal to samuhaha, group. So a group of villages, group of people, they stay together. That's called Gramam. That's our village. And Sangramam means here, this war also is like that only. People are all have come down here in this place for a specific purpose, for a samyak purpose. Samyak purpose is for a good purpose, protecting dharma, etc. That's how Sangramam can be a war. That way Sangramam turns to be a war. So Imam Dharmyam Sangramam means this righteous war which is for the sake of dharma. Dharmyam means for the sake of dharma. Tataha, then hitva, you will be giving up. Hitva, ha dhatu is there. Ha dhatu, and from there you may be remembering the word ha. From that word is jihasa. Jihasa means a desire to give up. It's called jihasa. So ha dhatu, it is in the third conjugation, and from this they have made a participle hitva, means as such by giving up. But here you will be forsaking, you will be giving up what? Swadharmam, your own duty, and kirtim, and honor. We'll see that how it happens. Avapsasi papam, not only you are giving up this, you are gaining also something. You are losing something on one side and you are gaining. Avapsasi means you prapnosi. So papam avapsasi means you will incur sin also. So on the other hand, if you do not fight, the total translation is, on the other hand, if you do not fight this righteous war, then you will be definitely giving up your own duty and honor, and you will incur sin. So Bhagavan said that you have to fight this war by which you will attain heaven. And suppose Arjuna argues that if I am not interested in heaven, I would like to live with this Bhishma and Drona, and I would not like to kill them, etc., etc., and I would not like to go to heaven. I am ready to sacrifice the heaven for the sake of this Bhishma Drona. Then Bhagavan says, well, if you don't fight this war, not only you won't get heaven, that's one thing, but on the other hand, you are going to get hell only. You will get hell only if a person, a person gets hell if person loses his duty. That's called nitya karma, naimitya karma. That's called omission of duty. Well, so it is considered to be a great papa. And so from there we get an idea of a papam. That papam is of two types basically. One is a papam is in the form of what should not be done, and one does. That's commission. One does something which one is not supposed to do. So you have already committed something. I mean, so that's a commission. And that is called in Sanskritam Nishiddha Karanam. Karanam means doing. Nishiddham. Nishiddham means which was not supposed to be done. But who told? Who told that this is Nishiddham? The Shastra has told that this is not to be done. And I can give you examples. So many examples are there. In Shastra there are many examples. And in this Vyavahara also we have many examples for this. Nishiddha Karanam. But let's take a Shastra example. Suram na pibe. One should not take alcohol. Not only that, if you take alcohol, that's because that's been negated by the Shastra that you should not do it. You should not drink. They say you should not even smell the alcohol. You should not even go near to the alcohol. That's all is there. You should not bring the alcohol and keep in the refrigerator or everything. So you should not buy at all. Don't go near to it. Don't take the smell of it. Don't drink the alcohol. Why all these things? We tell one thing. No. There are degrees of papas in that. If you smell, that is a light papa. If you drink, it is a little bigger papa, etc. So all this is there. Once Shastra says not to be done, because we generally have a tendency to find out some way of doing. And so either not doing totally, then in a partial way, etc. Well, that is being told here not to do this. So this is one kind of a papam. You can incur papam by nishiddha karanam. You can incur papam by doing something which is not supposed to be done, told by the Shastra. That is nishiddha karanam. Sometimes they call avihitam also. Instead of nishiddham, they use the word avihitam. I will tell you the very prasiddha shloka also for that is there. Anyway, this is one type of papam. Then second type of papam is you don't do which you are supposed to do. That also bring papam. And like example is we are supposed to pay the taxes, etc. And suppose a person doesn't. I am giving you a Laukik example. There on Shastra there are many examples. Suppose a person does not do it and then he is punished. And then he argues, what? That how can you punish me? I have not done anything. I did not do anything. Why are you punishing me? The reason is there for punishing to you. I did not do anything, but of course, you're not paying the tax also is not doing it. And for that purpose, you are getting, because of that, you are getting a punishment. So, vihita akaranam. That is a vidhanam. Vihitam means vidhi, vidhanam, vidhi eva vidhanam. They call like this. And there are laukika vidhanams through our constitution, etc. Veda also is a constitution basically. Veda has its own way of saying, own way of handling the people, etc. And in the local administration also has their own rules, etc. Veda also has a lot of rules, except Upanishad part. Anyway, so that is why. So this is also another way of incurring a papam. Vihita akaranam. What is told to be done, you don't do. Akaranam means not doing. Not doing what is told to be done. And this is an example. And that is why, in our prasiddha shloka is there, karacharana kritam va, kayajam karmajam va, shravana nayanajam va, manasam va aparadham, vihitam avihitam va. Sarvam etat kshamasva. Vihitam avihitam. Sarvam kshamasva. Vihita akaranam. And avihita means nishiddha karanam. So that is how, you forgive. Suppose there are some omissions and there are commissions, both. I have omitted something which I am supposed to do. I have committed something which I am not supposed to do, etc. And that can bring a papam. So may, O Lord, please forgive me from this. So this is in Manas Puja, you know very well. Anyway, so Arjuna, you will get omission. You will not get, of course, you want to say that I don't want to go to Swarga, even if you are telling that you have got a great opportunity, and etc., etc. But I don't want to go to Swarga for the sake of this Bhishma and Drona. For their sake, I don't want to go. Bhagavan says not only that you won't get a Swarga, but you will get hell. You don't get heaven, that's one thing. You will get hell because you are not doing something which you are supposed to do. Basically you are Kshatriya and you have to protect Dharma, and you are not protecting. This is Dharma Yuddham, and therefore if you are not, you are giving up this war, etc., you don't fight here, definitely you incur papam by not doing Nitya Karma, and therefore that's called omission. In Sanskritam it is called Pratyavaya. I am going to explain you a little more in this, what is Pratyavaya, etc. So Vihita Akaranam is called Pratyavaya Papam. Vihitam means which is Nityam, Naimittikam, etc. Both types of karmas are there. So Vihita Akaranam is called Pratyavaya Papam. And that is said here, Athachetvam imam dharmyam sangramam na karishyasi. Arjuna, if you don't fight this dharmic yuddha, well, then definitely you will incur papam. Atha swadharmam hitva. Swadharmam hitva. Swadharma is, we have seen yesterday, Swadharma is that Vishesha Dharma. There are Samanya Dharmas and Vishesha Dharma. Samanya Dharmas we have discussed in terms of Yama, Niyama, etc. And Vishesha Dharma is basically Varnashram Dharma. That is the Vishesha Dharma. And that is, depending upon the Varna, you have certain duties. So Arjuna is a Kshatriya, and his duty is to protect the people. And therefore, well, and so he is supposed to do that. And if he doesn't do, well, so that is, he is supposed to do and he doesn't do. That's called Vihita Akaranam. And so Vihita Akaranam Kritva Swadharmam Hitva, that part of the our shloka, we can translate like this: Vihita Akaranam Kritva. What is already Vihitam, what I am supposed to do, Akaranam, I don't do, and thereby incur Pap. Because I have omitted Nitya Karma, etc. And that will result into what? Papam avapsasi. Well, you will incur papam, and that papam will lead you to narakam. You won't get swarga, that's one thing, forget it. But you will incur this papam, and by there you can get narakam too. So this is what the consequence of the papam is. Suffering is in this janma, and if not in this janma, definitely in future janma. Like, that's called naraka prapti, eva phalam bhavati. So you may not be interested in swarga, but at least if you want to avoid narakam, you have to fight this war. This is one thing. Atha, Bhagavan says, tataha, means thereafter, swadharmam kirtim cha hitva papam avapsati. Three things are told. Swadharmam hitva, that's we have seen. Swadharma means that is his dharma to protect people, etc. That is his nitya karma, vihita karma, that he has hitva, he has given up. I mean, he is not going to fight. Then that is one thing. And it will incur papam, etc. That is because vihita akaranam. But then there is another thing also. Kirtim cha hitva. Definitely you will lose your name and fame. Bhagavan is going to talk something more about that also. And afterwards, the third thing is papam avapsasi. Kirtim cha hitva, papam avapsasi. So the papam avapsasi, that's the third thing. So with this shloka as such, dharmic drashti is over. So verse 31 to 33 basically that's a Krishna's argument, of course, Bhagavan's argument that the war is ethical and he should fight the war. Now here we want to discuss something more in this particular verse. You know, basically the Arjuna's doubt is that like fighting the war, definitely they will definitely win over and they will gain kingdom. But in Arjuna's mind, the thing is that rather than fighting the war and getting the kingdom, the people like Bhishma and Drona, to protect them, that is better. That is the dharma. We may not get kingdom. We should not care about it. But we should not definitely, shoot the arrows to this great people, towards this great people called Bhishma and Drona. That is the dharma. This is in his mind all the time. And so Bhagavan as to, the swadharmam hitva should be looked upon little more in this. So Bhagavan is telling as though, his swadharma means, swa means one's own. So he is a kshatriya and therefore kshatriya's dharma. And the kshatriya's dharma is he has to maintain the society, he has to maintain the kingdom, country, he has to protect the people. And the protection, it does not mean that from the enemy. That's not like that. In current situation, this is very much applicable for the people who are ruling. Like this is a pandemic situation, you see that. Now here there is no other enemy from other country, etc. The enemy is, invisible enemy. Trump used to tell it as an invisible enemy. So from that invisible enemy, he is supposed to protect. They are doing what I am saying is, I am not telling anything against. But Kshatriya's dharma, Kshatriya's dharma, Kshatriya's dharma means Kshatriya means the ruler. Well, that dharma is to protect. Protect means not like this from somebody who is going to attack and etc. This all is included. And not only that, the big list is there. Suppose they lose the job, they get unemployment. Then they have, it's a job of a government to create new opportunities, new jobs, etc., so that they can get bread. Till they don't get it, they are supposed to provide all this food, etc., or some money, etc. All this is considered as a kshatriya dharma, and therefore, this is all. In general, they call it as a palanam. Palanam means sustaining. Sustaining what? Sustaining the people. And sustaining people means sustaining the life of people. And that includes this thing also. So if you want to protect the people, not from just the enemies, but protecting their lives in terms of this thing also. Providing medical facilities, creating a job, giving them some food if they don't have a job, etc. and all this. And that is how they have a part of every country has their own rules. They call it unemployment allowance, etc. I don't know what it is called here, but this is all is Kshatriya dharma. They are not obliging to the people. They are supposed to do all this, and therefore this is all is Kshatriya's dharma. Basically, you can call it as a protection of the people, protection of the kingdom, protection of the country, protection of the people of the country. All this is the dharma of Kshatriya. And Bhagavan is telling this is, the Sangramam Dharmyam. So this is Dharmyam Sangramam, in which this dharma is to be protected. Why? Because the Bhishma and Drona, for which Arjuna is telling that we should not fight, we should not fight with this dharma, Bhishma and Drona, etc., because they are great people and all that. But if we look into little further, that they are standing on the side of Duryodhana, because because the Bhishma has given a word to his father that I would always be on the side of a Hastinapur. Whoever may be the ruler, I will be on that side. And therefore now Dhritarashtra is ruling, and therefore he is, by default, he is taking a side of Adharma. That's one thing. And Drona is, just because he has a good relation with the Bhishma, he has joined. Drona has no other, because Arjuna, he liked Arjuna so much. He was a really good disciple. And still he, just because of the words to have a good relation, to keep the good relation with the Bhishma, he joined with Duryodhana. So they are basically on the part of Adharma, for no reason, for no genuine reason. And therefore, they are helping Duryodhana right now. And therefore, to kill them, that becomes Adharma, etc. That kind of a thinking on the part of Arjuna is a wrong thinking. In fact, he's by thinking like this itself, that we should protect Bhishma and Drona, etc., that itself is a protection of Adharma. Because they are on the side of Adharma, and if they are protected, and thereby others are also protected, the Dharma is going to spread more in the society, and thereby the protection of the people, or the sustaining the lives of the people will become difficult. In fact, it has become like this. Even though the Dhritarashtra was ruling over, but in the kingdom, because of Duryodhana, he was taking so many wrong decisions. just because to keep the Duryodhana happy, his son. And therefore, this Praja Palanam, protecting the people, etc., was not in a proper shape in the kingdom, in Hastinapur. And therefore, basically, if you won't fight the war, then definitely the dharma is going to increase. And you are a Kshatriya, it's your duty that the people should be protected properly in the kingdom, etc. And therefore, this war you have to fight. So that is how Bhagavan is telling Swadharmam Hitva. Your right now, your dharma is to protect the people. And if you don't fight the war, how are you going to protect the people? That's your main duty. In fact, the Kshatriya's main duty is this, Prajapalana. Rule properly, rule as per the moral values, rule as per in such a way, whole Vyavastha should be such so that people, the main aim is for any Kshatriya is to protect the people. If he is they are generally rulers, then as a ruler is the main duty is not to rule but to protect the people. Rule in such a way so that people are protected. So that's the main dharma. That's how Bhagavan says Swadharma. That is your dharma. Bhagavan is reminding him. So this is one thing. Now second thing is Arjuna's doubt. We are analyzing why Arjuna is desisting from this war, which is really a dharma yuddha. And he was ready initially. He initially was very ready. Please put my chariot in between and I want to see who have come on the side of Duryodhana and all that. And I will see them. All that he told also. Anyway, that's another doubt on the part of Arjuna, that he considers this particular act of fighting as a kamya karma. This is what I really want to discuss today. And what is the kamana? This Rajya Prapti, kingdom, getting the king. Definitely they will, if they win, they are going to get the kingdom. And he argues also, even if this guy, we are getting the kingdom, etc., but what is the use of this kingdom without Bhishma and Drona and all these enjoyments without which are stained with bloods of Bhishma and Drona? How can we enjoy them and all? So basically, he must be considering that this fighting the war is getting back the kingdom. And of course, that's in fact they should get the kingdom. That was the condition also, and therefore he considers this fighting the war as a kamya karma. Now we are trying to analyze this kamya karma and nitya karma. So, this is a kamya karma because after the fight, and if they definitely win, then definitely they will get the kingdom. That is a karma phala. And so, if they fight, they will get a kingdom. That's a rule in Arthashastra. And on the other side, Dharma Shastra says, these people, great people like Bhishma and Drona, they should not kill. Why? Ahimsa paramo dharma. Ahimsa paramo dharma, we should not kill as such the people, and that too, such great people are there. Definitely, Dharma Shastra says you should not kill it. So on one side there is the Artha Shastra. This is a Kamya Karma. If they fight, they are going to get all the pleasures and kingdom and everything. And on the other side there is a Dharma Shastra, which says, don't kill them. And so Arjuna gets a doubt because these two things are there. Arjuna gets a doubt that Dharma Shastra is, he himself takes it that way. Dharma Shastra is stronger than Artha Shastra. And therefore, Bhagavan is telling here right now, if you fight this war, that this you are fighting this war not for getting kingdom. Bhagavan is reminding him. With which words I am going to tell you. Bhagavan is reminding him that the war which you are fighting, that particular action, fighting action, is not for getting kingdom. I am using the word dharmyam sangramam. It is just for the protection of the people you have to fight. And therefore, if in your mind, suppose you feel that this fighting action, fighting this war, if you consider that that's a kamya karma, because for the sake of getting kingdom I am fighting and I don't want that, for the sake of Bhishma and Drona, because I may be losing them, then I don't want that kingdom, etc. If that is a thing in your mind, give it up. Because dharmyam sangramam na karishyasi. This Sangramam, this is Yuddham, this fight is Dharmam. It is going to protect Dharma, it is going to protect the people, it is going to protect the people of the kingdom, Hastinapur, etc. And definitely you are not fighting here. Of course, that will by default you get the kingdom, that's one thing. But don't think this in your mind. This Yuddha is basically a Dharma Yuddha. It means to protect Dharma itself you have to fight, and that's your duty to protect the people, and therefore you don't fight, you are swerving away from your own duty. Therefore Bhagavan says Swadharmam Hitva. Swadharmam Hitva. You are giving up. Well, if you go away from this war, well, you are remembering that you are going away from your own duty. So it is not a Kamya Karma, it's a Nitya Karma. Doing your own duty is Nitya Karma, and in fact that is the primary duty of a Kshatriya, to protect the people. So don't think, if you have a doubt that this is a Kamya Karma and I don't have Kamana, I don't have any desire for Svarga, etc. I don't have a desire for this kingdom, etc. He has already told all these things in first chapter and in the beginning verses of the chapter 2 also. And very beautifully he said also in the, I think, second chapter itself, well, this, Bunjiye Bhogan, Rudhira Pradigdhan, I don't want this enjoyments after the war. We win and we get the kingdom and we get the enjoyments also. But all those enjoyments are Bunjiye Bhogan, Rudhira Pradigdhan. They are all stained with the bloods of all the people who are my relatives, including Bhishma and Drona and all. Well, I don't want. Don't think that you are fighting for that sake. You are fighting for the sake of protecting the people. That's the job of a Kshatriya, very primary duty of the Kshatriya, and you are a Kshatriya, and therefore Bhagavan is remembering. So he is using 2 times. In the first line also he says Dharmyam Sangramam. Sangramam is Yuddham, Dharmyam Yuddham. Bhagavan would have said Atha Chetvam Imam Yuddham na Karishyasi. Bhagavan could have said that. But he tells Atha Chetvam Imam Dharmyam Sangramam na Karishyasi. Dharmyam Sangramam, Dharmyam I have told you already. Well, the Yuddha, the fight, which is in keeping with the Dharma or which is for the protection of Dharma. And again Bhagavan says Swadharmam Hitva. Well, so you are forgetting your own duty. So, so through your Kartavya Buddhi also, it's better you should, what is supposed to be done by you, if you consider that way also, you should fight the war. That is one thing. That's the one thing. Then second thing Bhagavan is telling, let's give up the standpoint of Dharma for a time being. Give up. From the standpoint of this world also, well, if we think of, from the standpoint of something you gain in this world, you may not be interested in Swarga, you may not be interested in any other thing, okay, you are very, very Vairagi, etc., no problem. But from the standpoint of this world, some gain in this world also, giving up the war is not good. How? Because in this world also for Kshatriya, Bhagavan is going to, that thing also is elaborately going to talk later. That for the Kshatriya, this Kirti, etc., is very, very important. Yasha, fame and name, fame is very, very important, and they fight for that also, for that sake. And therefore, by doing something or not doing something, you should always take into account that are you going to lose your name or not? Are you going to lose your fame or not? That also we have to think. Bhagavan is telling to Arjuna. See, in history, that one thing is very, very popular. One lion was chasing a cow, and then one king saw it, and that king is nothing but it was nobody but the Dilipa. This Dilipa who came in the Raghuvamsha. So the Dilipa, then the king Dilipa has seen that one of our lion was chasing a cow. So he had a lot of compassion for the cows, etc. And so he ran after this lion in order to kill him. And he was trying to shoot the arrows towards that lion, but he could not. Somehow he was a great king with a great valor, but to this lion he could not shoot. Then he was perplexed. What is happening? Then this lion itself, it stopped and turned around, and in a language of a human being, he started talking. What he is talking? Well, he said, "O king, your all efforts will be in vain. You could not kill me because I am a celestial being." There may be some celestial being who has taken a form of this lion, and maybe for, I think, testing this Dilipa only. And so he said, in the language of human being, that lion told this, that your efforts will be in vain, you cannot kill me. Then king told me, don't worry, but I am telling you something. What? If you want to eat, well, then you eat me, my body, but leave aside this cow. Don't chase it. Let it go. I'm right here. You eat my body. Then this lion said, well, why you are, for just a simple cow, why are you giving up your body? You are a king, and you are a valorous person, and you are very famous. Why do you want to give up your body, which is really valuable? Then this king said, Yashash sharire bhavame dayaluhu. Well, if you are really having a compassion or a daya on my body, then don't have your compassion on this body. Have a compassion on my body, which is yashaha. Fame is my another body. And really you have a really kindness towards my body, then eat this body. But leave aside my one body. What? The body of a fame. I don't want to lose that body. And therefore, for that sake, for getting the yashaha, or keeping alive my yashaha, if that body, I am ready to sacrifice this physical body. That's what he told. So, when people, if I give up my body, this body, and you eat it, then people will tell, yes, just for one simple cow, the king has given up his physical body. What a sacrifice. And thereby I am going to protect my another body called a body of fame. And definitely, but if I really allow you to eat that, then the people will tell this king could not protect even a cow. Then how he is going to protect us in his kingdom? And therefore, I will lose my body. And that body is apakirtihi. I will definitely lose that body, the body of a fame I am going to lose. Well, I don't want that. So between these two bodies, I am ready to sacrifice the physical body. I want to protect that body. So they say, in this loka, in this particular world, well, in this Martya loka, the most prominent body, most important one is yashaha, kirti. And you know very well this. Even after person dies, for generations and generations and generations, definitely that body remains alive. Well, this body doesn't remain alive for generations, right? This body remains alive for 100 years maximum. But that body can live for many years. So when they have to choose between the two, they will see that no harm can occur to the body of fame. Yashaha, kirtihi. So Bhagavan is telling, Tataha svardharmam kirtim chahitva. Oh, you are a kshatriya and you want to protect something in this world. Forget about swarga, etc. No problem. But you really want, as a kshatriya, you have already this. Arjuna was very, very, very famous. So if you want to protect that body of a fame, then definitely fight this war. And in that process, even if you have to sacrifice this physical body, there is not a big deal. And so this is how Bhagavan is telling him. Now, this is the other thing also is there. Even let's say Swadharma means your own duty of protecting the people, etc. also is okay. That I have explained you. Kirti also means this fame, etc. also I have explained you. Whether you are out of between these two things, you are not bothering at all, no problem. But the third thing is very important, and that is papam avapsasi. You are going to incur papam. Now this thing we have to understand properly, because for Kshatriya, this protecting the people, as I told you, it's a Nitya Karma. And now the difference between Nitya Karma and Kamya Karma is this. Kamya Karma means with the desire of getting a particular result, desired result basically. Well, one does karma, one does action. And then that is a Kamya Karma. And suppose you don't have a desire for a particular thing, particular object. You don't want a particular object in your life. So then you may not do the karma. No problem. Definitely you will not do, definitely. Suppose that desire of an object has gone, then the very effort to gain that object itself will not be there. So if person if person does not do Kamya Karma, there is no problem at all. No dosha will arise. But if a person, but this particular war is not a Kamya Karma. You may be considering, Arjuna, that if I fight, then I will get kingdom and the enjoyments in the kingdom and all that. But definitely I am telling you, Bhagavan is telling, it is not a Kamya Karma, it is Nitya Karma. And that's how Bhagavan says, I am using the word Dharmyam. Well, this is the war which is by which the result would be protection of Dharma. Not that you are going to get some other result. And therefore this is not a Kamya Karma, fighting the war, etc. And this is a Nitya Karma, because that's your duty. And therefore, so if you consider as a Kamya Karma, then if you don't do it, well, definitely you won't earn Punyam, etc. And that I can understand. But this is a Nitya Karma, and therefore, even if you desire or not, you are supposed to do it. That's your duty, and you are supposed to do it. And because Shastra always, and yesterday I think somebody was asking me, and let me tell here at this moment, this all four varnas are there in Veda itself, because the duties of all the four varnas also have been described in the Karmakanda itself. I mean, what kind of a rituals a Brahmana can do, what kind of a rituals a Vaishya can do, what kind of a rituals a Kshatriya can do, etc., etc. All descriptions are there. So the Varnashram Dharma are basically from the Veda itself. Smritis may talk about, because Smriti has basically a root in Shruti. So Smriti Shruti Mulaka, they always say. Any Smriti means a memory basically. I mean the one who knows the purport of the Veda, well, and they keep the purport in their mind, and they note down few things, and that is the Smriti. And therefore this is another thing. Well, and so here Bhagavan is telling, well, if it is a Kamya Karma, if you don't do it, no problem. You won't get basically Punyam, no problem. But this is not like that. This is a Nitya Karma, and therefore, and you are supposed to do. So if you don't do, definitely you will incur papam. So that is how Bhagavan says papam avapsasi. And here, I have a few more things I will tell about that. In morning, early morning, you should get up in the Brahma Muhurtam, and then you are supposed to do Snanam, and you are supposed to do Sandhya Vandanam, which is Nitya Karma, Now, suppose if you get up in the morning, if you don't get up in the morning early, that's one thing. You get up early in the morning, but do something else and take bath very late. Well, that's considered you are going away from the Nitya Karma. The person has to take bath early. So, so suppose if somebody says that I don't take bath early in the morning, and therefore, no problem, I won't get Punyam. It's not Kamya Karma. You are supposed to take bath early in the morning, and therefore if you don't do, definitely you will incur some dosha. That dosha is called pratyavaya. So sacrificing Nitya Karma, you will definitely get a dosha or a papam, which is called pratyavaya. And Another thing is, in case of Arjuna, of course, this protecting the people, etc., is a nitya karma, and therefore, if he doesn't do it, well, so when he's definitely swerving away from his duty. He will lose the fame. That's all. These two things are okay, but at the same time, Bhagavan third is telling third thing, and that is you will incur papam, and the result of papam could be that narakam, etc. I have already told you. And if you remember, the Arjuna said in that second chapter, the initial verses itself, Arjuna told very clearly that rather than fighting and shooting the arrows towards this Bhishma and Drona, I would really like, I will prefer to live on alms. Bhaikshamaphi haloke. I will remain on alms. I can sustain on the alms, but I don't fight. I don't want to fight with them. So Bhagavan says, if you do like this, well, definitely you will incur papam, and because you are swerving away from your duty, and therefore you are not getting paraloka also. You won't get any place in the Swarga, etc. And in this world also you are going to lose name, fame, etc. And therefore in no way you will have advantage by declaring that I won't fight. That's what it is been told. Now the last thing which is very essential for is this. Suppose a person is, is having a goal of a moksha in a life. Then for him this nitya karma is a very, very big thing. If person does not do his daily duties which he is supposed to do, and he has in his mind to gain, he has in his mind a goal of moksha, then definitely there would be a big obstacles. That obstacle would be what? If you don't do nitya karmas, then your our mind will not be purified. And because in the Shastra it has been told, the person who is really pursuing this moksha, etc., then he is not supposed to do certain things, and that is kamya karmas he is not supposed to do. And he is supposed to do certain karmas, that is nitya naimittik karmas. And very beautifully said, nitya naimittike kuryat pratyavaya jihasaya. Nitya naimittike kuryat. Nitya naimittike, it's a dual, and therefore they call it nitya naimittike. Just like phalam phale. Kuryat, one is supposed to do nitya naimittik karmas. Why? Pratyavaya jihasaya. If you don't want in your life that pratyavaya should not come in my life, so my mind should not have any obstacle, so that I can gain moksha, I can understand the meaning of the Shastra, then and I can retain the meaning of the Shastra, and thereby I can gain moksha, etc. Well, then pratyavaya should not be there in your mind. And pratyavaya, if you don't want, then you are supposed to do nitya naimittik karmas. That only will remove the pratyavaya, and that pratyavaya is nothing but the obstacle in the mind which does not allow you to pursue moksha. And even if you pursue, you keep on listening and everything, but you feel that you are not getting clarity. Here it is just a question of growing clarity. There is not going to be some kind of a phenomena is going to occur in your life. Moksha is not a phenomena. You are basically muktaha, but you are not able to drop the notions. Well, and why I am not able to drop the notion? That's a pratyavaya. But I am not able to drop notion because I don't listen. But even if you are listening everything, and these are just notions that I am human being, I am this, I am that, they are simple notions, and to remove notion is on your part. That's not responsibility of the teacher. It is not responsibility of the Shastra. It is not responsibility of the Ishvara. If notion is there, and then due to ignorance, then that's your responsibility to drop it. But you are not able to drop it. Why? Well, they say there is obstacle. That's obstacle. And we have discussed also in chapter 9 of the Panchadashi, also a very big thing is there. I don't want to go because perhaps the time is running out. But the question is, the obstacle, I will give you one example of obstacle. after listening many years, also person always have that feeling that I don't have knowledge. What I have is some information. I don't know, it just doesn't go. And then we say, okay, please explain this Aham Brahmasmi. And he explains beautifully. He explains beautifully that how the Jiva is Brahman. Beautifully explains that Mahavakya. Then I said, you have a knowledge. No, I don't have knowledge. It is all information. So then how this is an obstacle. It's not an information. All this so-called information is in the form of a thought. And that thought is nothing but Aham Brahmasmi is describing to me. So he has a knowledge. Of course, he has a Dehatma Buddhi, that's a different matter. It's not a, but first accept. Nididhyasanam etc. comes only when Shravana Mananam gives rise to knowledge, right? And so Shravana Mananam he has done for several years. And he has got a clarity also. But still, and with that Shravana Mananam he has done, and the knowledge which has been generated, now with that knowledge he is supposed to do Nididhyasana. That how am I Brahman, how I am Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Sabhava, how I am just a consciousness. And that by this Dehatma Buddhi slowly, first it will, slowly it will go. That's called growing clarity. But basically, you should first accept that you have a knowledge. You won't do Nididhyasana, you say that you have just information. If you say I have a knowledge, but this Dehatma Buddhi, the Viparita Bhavana is there, and for that I have to do Nididhyasana is a one thing. That person does not have obstacle. This person has obstacle. Who says that I don't have knowledge at all. He has learned Bhashyam and he has listened Upanishads several times, and he has learned Gita Bhashyam several times, and he is able to talk. Like Swami, he can talk, he can take the class also. Just like Swami talks, he can talk. So he has knowledge, but he somehow is not ready. And if we ask him, why you are saying like that, I have information and not knowledge? He says, I don't know, but I feel that I have information. That's obstacle. That's pratyavaya. That is the pratyavaya. It doesn't allow you to go further. He doesn't do Nididhyasana because he's still there, he has no knowledge. He has some information, by that he has given a lecture. Well, that's a very, very unfortunate situation, and the solution etc. has been talked by Vidyaranya Swami in the chapter 9. Anyway, so this is called, this is Adrishta dosha, basically Adrishta dosha. Adrishta means, because the person is not able to explain why this kind of a feeling he has, why this kind of thing he feels that he has only information and not knowledge. Well, and therefore, if one wants to have no obstacle in the mind called pratyavaya, he should do nitya karmas. Nitya karmas is what he is supposed to do on a daily basis, or naimitya karmas etc. He should keep it. So they say nitya naimityake kuryat pratyavaya jihasaya. If you have a jihasa of a pratyavaya, that you don't want pratyavaya in your life, nitya naimityake kuryat, one should do this. And so Bhagavan has ultimately, he has really proved here that if you go away, if you don't fight etc. this war, well, you won't get Swarga etc. Well, we can consider as Arthakama etc. You won't get it, and then you will incur Papam also, and maybe Pratyavaya, then you cannot get even Moksha also, and you are giving up your own Dharma, means you will swerve away from this Purushartha called Dharma also, and in this world itself, you forget about Dharma, Moksha, everything. In this world also you are going to lose your fame, because you are already, in the social media. A lot of people are following you, and therefore, basically, people will talk about it. That's going to come. That's going to come, so I don't talk about it. But, you will lose. And for a Kshatriya, Bhagavan is going to tell, for a Kshatriya, losing the fame is almost committing a suicide. And people commit suicide. They have everything. If they lose fame, many people especially who have a big fame and they lose fame for some reason, wrong or right, then they cannot stand it. Well, so you are losing here also this, you are losing in the other lokas, and so you will be, you will be devoid of the Purushartha itself, and therefore just taking this your decision not to fight is going to amount to be totally going away from the purushartha. And so basically you should fight it. So with this we have completed this portion 31 to 33, which is a Bhagavan's explanation to Arjuna to fight the war. And means he should not have a grief. He was thinking that, well, killing all this Bhishma, Drona, and etc. Well, I can't do that because they are very great people and all that. They have a big role in my life. They have contributed a lot in my life, and therefore I cannot fight, etc., etc. Bhagavan is explaining from the moral angle or from dharma angle also that is not a proper decision. Now, other verses we'll see tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.